So picture this. You just walked into a grocery store, you're totally ready to shop, and then, bam, you completely freeze because you need to ask a question. Or, maybe you're just desperately trying to find the milk and you're drawing a blank. It happens. And honestly, that feeling of nervousness when you're standing in the checkout line with people waiting behind you, having to speak English, oh man, if that scenario makes your heart beat a little faster, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. Navigating everyday stuff in a second language is, well, it's pretty intimidating.
Welcome to this explainer, the Essential English Grocery Shopping Guide. I am so glad you're joining me for this one, because I want to reassure you right out of the gate. You absolutely do not need to be fluent to shop with total confidence. Literally everyone buys groceries, right? And the big secret here is that you really only need a handful of super simple, reliable phrases to get through the entire store without a hitch. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to cover 1. Before you enter. 2. Navigate the aisles. 3. Ask for help. 4. Labels and prices. 5. The checkout counter. And 6. Your mini shopping challenge.
Section 1. Before you enter.
All right, imagine you're standing outside a massive supermarket. Those automatic doors slide open, and boom, you're hit with the bright lights and these giant product displays. Right away, you've got your first decision to make. Do you need a shopping cart or a basket? It's a pretty simple calculation, really. If you're tackling a massive weekly grocery haul, grab a cart. The big one with the wheels. But if you're just popping in for tonight's dinner, a basket, that small container with a handle, is totally going to do the trick.
Moving right along to Section 2. Navigate the aisles.
So, the absolute best way to feel comfortable in the store is just getting the hang of the vocabulary for its physical layout. And let's start with arguably the most important word, aisle. An aisle is basically just that long walkway between the shelves where all the products live. Just imagine walking down one right now, looking left and right at these towering shelves. Pretty much the entire store is just one giant grid of these aisles.
Now, we can use the Produce section to essentially rewire how our brains work while shopping. Produce refers specifically to fresh fruits and vegetables. When you're standing there looking at a bunch of bright yellow bananas or some really delicious-looking red tomatoes, try to actually name them in English in your head, looking directly at the physical food. It's a great trick to help you start thinking in English, rather than doing that constant, exhausting mental translation.
Next up is dairy. That's the refrigerated zone where you'll find all your everyday staples. We're talking milk, cheese, butter, and yogurt. Oh, and you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for a few other key landmarks while you're at it. There's the bakery, which is usually where that incredible smell of fresh bread is coming from, and frozen food, which is just the aisle with all those massive glass freezers.
All right, Section 3. Ask for help.
Let's just validate something really quick. It is perfectly normal to get lost. Seriously, even native speakers wander around looking for ingredients all the time. So when it happens to you, don't panic. The absolute magic phrase for getting help always starts with, "Excuse me." For example, "Excuse me, where can I find the rice?" It's polite, it gets their attention, and it's super easy to remember. And you can easily swap rice for literally anything else. "Where's the cooking oil?" Or, "Do you sell almond milk?"
And what happens after you ask? Well, employees are usually super happy to help, and their answers are generally pretty direct. They might just say, "It's in aisle 5." Or they might give you a directional cue using those landmarks we talked about earlier. They might say, "It's near the bakery," or, "next to the dairy section." And because you know those words now, you are going to know exactly where to go.
Section 4. Labels and prices.
Okay, so once you actually find your item, picking it up and reading the label is excellent and completely free. English practice. When you're looking closely at a package, just run through this quick mental checklist. Check the price, the ingredients, the expiration date for freshness, and the nutrition information. Seriously, walking through this checklist every single time guarantees that you are going to learn some highly practical vocabulary just by paying attention to the box in your hands.
So, the crucial point is, how do you use this info to be a smart shopper? Picture yourself holding 2 bottles of juice. One is $3, the other is $5. You can actually practice simple comparative sentences right there in the middle of the aisle. This one is cheaper and that one is more expensive.
Comparing prices out loud in your head is just a fantastic way to snag a better deal while reinforcing your English skills at the same time.
Moving to Section 5, the checkout counter.
You have successfully navigated the aisles and compared your prices like an absolute pro. Now for the final boss of the grocery trip, the cashier. Look, for a lot of learners, this is the most nerve-wracking part, but it really doesn't have to be. Let's do a quick role play. The cashier scans your items and says, your total is $42.50. You confidently ask, can I pay by card? They reply, of course, please tap your card here. You tap, they hand you a receipt, you say thank you, you too, and boom! Just like that, you've conquered the checkout.
To make this whole process even easier, here is a core toolkit of useful expressions you can rely on. Can you help me? How much is this? Is this on sale? Do you have a larger size? And can I have a bag, please? Now, remember something absolutely crucial here. Do not try to memorize hundreds of random vocabulary words before you head to the store. That is literally just going to overwhelm you. Just start with this small targeted toolkit until it feels completely natural.
And finally, Section 6, your mini shopping challenge.
I passionately believe that the most impactful language learning happens out in the real world, not just sitting in a classroom somewhere. The grocery store is basically your own personal language lab. So let's see how this builds into an actionable challenge for your very next run. Step 1. Mentally name 5 products in English as you walk around. Step 2. Pick up and fully read 3 different labels. Step 3. Ask an employee one simple question, even if you already know the answer. And Step 4. Confidently say, thank you and have a nice day to the cashier. Doing these small, deliberate actions is absolutely going to accelerate your English.
So I want to leave you with a final thought here. Will you have the courage to take it one question, one answer, and one shopping trip at a time? You absolutely do not need flawless English to go out there and enjoy the experience of living and shopping. You just need the courage to start. So take these tools, take a deep breath, and start practicing today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. You are going to do great. Happy shopping.